Siri, where is Yerushalayim? This sounds like a stupid question, right? Siri told me that's a stupid question. But you see, in the Torah, it doesn't tell me where Yerushalayim is. In fact, Yerushalayim is not really mentioned. Shalem is mentioned, yes. Har HaMoriah is mentioned. But Yerushalayim is always described in a weird way. It's always described as, not no weird, but Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem, the place that Hashem will choose. Why doesn't the Torah just tell me straight up, as it says in this week's Parshat, when you come to Israel, bring the Bikurim to Yerushalayim? Instead it says, you should go Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem, the place that Hashem chooses. That is a little strange. The Rambam asked this question in his Guide for the Perplexed, Moreh HaNevuchim, and he gives three answers. He says, number one, we don't want the Gentiles living in Israel to know that that's the place that we hope to conquer and make our capital, because then, he says, they'll mount a really, really major defense. It will be very difficult to conquer it. Secondly, he says, maybe they'll destroy the area. They'll cut down the mountain. They will plow it over with salt. They'll do all types of bad stuff. And he says, and the most important reason is because the Jews will start arguing amongst themselves about who gets the plot of land with the capital in it. Then we'll have to have like District of Columbia or etc., to have Yerushalayim. He says, we don't want the Jews to argue about it. However, I heard from my teacher, Rabbi Shapiro, a fourth reason that the Torah doesn't mention Yerushalayim. It just says the place that Hashem will choose. He says, because aside from the geographical Yerushalayim in Israel, the capital of the state of Israel, the place of the Beis HaMikdash, every person has their own Yerushalayim, the place that Hashem has chosen for them to fulfill their maximum potential in this world. That means every person has to ultimately find Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem, the place that Hashem has chosen for you. He told me this when I left Israel to go to the United States to do kiruv, to do outreach. I said to him, I'm really upset about leaving Yerushalayim. He says, I understand that. I understand that. He says, but you're going to the place that Hashem has chosen for you. And that's where you'll be able to fulfill your potential. Every one of us has to find Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem. That's not a geographical location. That's more of a vocation, an idea of what our purpose is in life. When we find that, we'll be able to lead ourselves and others in that correct direction. But the understanding, the Torah leaves it open, Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem, because every single one of us in the Torah and the mitzvahs has to find our specialty, has to find our place, has to find our personal Yerushalayim. That's the message, I think. Have a wonderful Shabbos.